Try to remember your fourth birthday. Not a photo of it, not something your parents told you. The actual memory formed in your own mind. Most people draw a blank, and if you see anything, it's hazier than you'd like. That gap is not a flaw. It is one of the strangest features of being human. Scientists call it childhood amnesia. Almost no one remembers anything before age 3 or 4, and memories before age 7 are thin at best. This isn't because nothing happened. You were learning to walk, learning language, forming your first sense of who you were. So why does the brain erase exactly the years that shaped it the most? The first person to seriously study this was Sigmund Freud. He coined the term infantile amnesia in the early 20th century. Though his explanation hasn't held up. Freud thought the memories were repressed due to hidden conflict. Modern neuroscience tells a more interesting story. Here is the part that should stop you. Young children do form memories. Toddlers can recall specific events for months if asked at the right time. The memories exist. They simply do not survive into adulthood. So what is actually happening? Part of the answer lies in the hippocampus, the brain region that stitches experience into long-term memory. In early childhood, it is under heavy construction. New neurons are produced at a remarkable rate, a process called neurogenesis, and each one wires itself into existing circuits, disrupting the connections holding older memories in place. Your brain, in its rush to grow, was overwriting itself. This comes from research led by psychologist Patricia Bauer, who has spent decades tracking memory development in young children. Her work shows something counterintuitive. Children as young as 1 or 2 can encode detailed memories. The problem isn't storage. It's durability over time. A toddler's memory of a trip to the zoo might survive a few months, then quietly dissolve. There's a second piece, and it has nothing to do with biology. It's language. Before a child has words for yesterday or before, they cannot organize experience into a story with a beginning and an end. Without that structure, a memory has nowhere to anchor itself. You don't recall isolated flashes of your own past. You recall narratives. That scaffolding requires language, and language takes years to develop. Psychologist Carole Peterson has studied this directly, interviewing young children repeatedly about the same events over months and years. She found that early memories shift and reorganize as language improves, as if the brain rebuilds the past using better tools. The events stay the same. The story changes shape. Here's the twist. Around age 3.5, something shifts. Children develop autobiographical memory, the ability to place themselves as a character inside their own continuous story. Before this shift, a child experiences things. After it, a child starts living a story they can later retrieve. This raises an unsettling question. If your earliest sense of self wasn't yet a continuous narrative, were you really there? The way you understand yourself now? You were there, experiencing and learning. But you weren't yet the kind of mind that stores a self-referential timeline. That hardware came online later, and by the time it did, the earliest software had already been wiped. This isn't only about toddlers. The same mechanism shows up elsewhere. Notice how childhood years feel slow and adult years feel fast. Early childhood is packed with first experiences, and novelty requires deeper encoding. As you age, days become routine, and routine blurs together with less to anchor it. Time isn't really speeding up. Your brain is just encoding fewer distinct memories per year. So childhood amnesia and the feeling that time accelerates are cousins. Memory was never built to store everything. It stores what matters for survival and identity, and in your earliest years, your brain hadn't yet decided what mattered. So try again to remember your 4th birthday. You probably still can't, but now you know why. The brain that lived it hadn't yet learned how to hold on to days at all. And the brain asking the question right now exists only because that earlier forgetful brain did its job perfectly.